Hey guys, back streaming again, and still working on the Y-Wing project. Hoping to get a little further along today. Um, Off camera, I went ahead and uh, filled in the areas we need to fill along the back end here and the engine section, so we can go ahead and get the shrouds on. So yeah, I think we'll do that first, as that's going to take a little while to dry. Just let me snap that on. Oops, I spilled the paint, or not paint, the glue. Let's go ahead and start getting this down. There we go. Here, go. Okay, now let's press this for the other side. I did try and get that on. Let's see if I can detach this for right now. Put that down. Just make it a little easier. There. Just help with keeping it simple. I apologize for not getting back to this sooner. This past weekend was just one of those weekends between not feeling super great because of a bad sinus headache and just a number of other stuff that needed to get taken care of. Okay, make sure that's all the way in. I also had to get the paint samples ready so that I can talk to you guys about that. And unfortunately, I need to clean some of the eyedroppers that I use. So now that we got those on, let's go ahead and continue on. I still have to finish up adding clear parts to the canopy area. Unfortunately, that bit we cut out last time has managed to walk off, and I cannot seem to find it. So we're just gonna have to start kind of some more. Go ahead and just try and very gingerly get us good, decent sized mount, so we can always cut it down. Oops, got it out. Go. And we can use this as sort of a initial starting point and trim it up as we need. There we go. Now, next sort of area we need to actually use these to clip this. There we go. I think what I'll do is use this piece there for a corner. Is that, oops, dropped it. That should fit nicely. It's just about the right sort of size and shape. Okay. Now comes the hard part. Just gonna clip it a little further back. And then we can just trim it up as we need. Fortunately, I think my nippers are starting to wear out. So either I'm going to have to place them or try sharpening them. I just realized I hadn't filled in this part yet, which is a bit of a bummer. Okay. Do a little more test fitting. Okay. So obviously I don't want to. Okay. I don't want to snip it too far up and risk damaging it or cutting it too small. At the same time, I need to still get it a little smaller to make it easier to work with. Just test it one more time, just to make sure I am getting this right. I think. Alright. Yeah, dropping it really does screw up your orientation. So that there. I'm going to go ahead and mark it fairly close, just so I have a good idea of where I need to cut, and I'll just trim it from that. Okay. Actually, it sounds like I'm getting a four-legged helper coming my way. As he more than likely realizes I brought home cans. Okay, let's gently lay this in. Okay. Just a little glue should hopefully get this seated. And there we go. Just use tweezers a little. Do some last minute tweaking of position. There we go. Now, hang on a second. Yeah, this unfortunately it's one of those things kind of have to do fairly close to you in order to properly see. And fortunately, okay, yep, now I got it. Just a little, just holding up on the back. That's probably why it wasn't sticking. There. Now, glue along the edge. And there we go. So that part's in. Okay. So let that set for a minute or two. Let's go ahead and get these on. Okay. Just want to double check on the instruction sheet, make sure I'm putting them on the right way. And yeah, that's. I think I get it backwards. No, it was right the first time. This is why we double check. Okay. That all the way forward. Okay. It's all correct. Now to snap this little guy in very carefully. Unfortunately, it's one of those parts that wants to be stubborn. Wants to be really stubborn. Hang on a second. Do this easy way. Just open it up just a hair. Okay. Go. Will that go in, out? Yes. Oh, come on. Stop being stubborn. Okay. Know what to do. Trim this just ever slight hair. That way, still get most of the effect without. There we go. Okay, let's start gluing this up. Right, that's on. I still got to be somewhat careful because I don't want any of this glue to accidentally hit the LED, fear of damaging it. Okay, hold that for a second while I get some tape on it. This tape does make for a fairly decent tool to hold parts together while they dry. It's not ideal, but because it will stick together on its own. But at the same time, it doesn't hurt. Okay. That'll hold for now. Now this guy, give it just a slight touch more around here to help get set up. And we'll just hold it for a minute. Hopefully soon we'll be able to then add a little mask to those so that we can get ready to paint, which hopefully shouldn't be too much longer. Another thing I will do tonight is clean up where the laser cannons broke off. That way they have a little cleaner surface to glue to when we go to put them back on. Something which I'm going to wait till I close up the canopy to do. That way the glue has a little more substance to grab onto. All right. Let's get this guy on. Hopefully he'll be a little more cooperative. And he is. Where'd I put those tweezers? There we go. Get this slightly adjusted. Okay. And some more glue. That's doing its initial stage. So let's get in on here. It's really finally taking shape now. Okay. Hopefully these will not cause too much issue. So obviously, if we have to, we'll come back in later and try and re-glue those. Come on, stay down. Okay. One more tape. Just give it a quick wrap around. There. That worked fairly well. Stretch a little. All right. Now, on to this piece. Now I'm gonna do a little test fitting here first, just to help give me an idea how much I need to trim this down, because it does have a nice flat, sharp edge. That should help make things a little easier. Plus, we can then just flip it over and use the other side on the opposite. Okay, just laying up the nippers. So I mark the edge a little further out to help ensure that we'd have plenty to use. Okay, almost there. Go ahead and get this glued into the cockpit. Now what I'm thinking of doing right now is leave the top-mounted ion cans off and paint those separately. That way we can get an even coat around them, since if we stick them on, we're not going to be able to get the undersides. Okay. All right, just run X-Acto over it a little, just to try and clean up some of the burrs. Okay, nice. Okay, so we just glued that side, and it looks like it shifted well. Let me. Glue's still a little wet. Just give it a little tapping. Okay. All right. So that's on. Now, on to this other side. And looks like I cut it a little too wide. Try that again. So, what I'm going to do, just very gingerly place it. Let's go ahead and start a little slightly inward mark. Oop. Everything's falling. Okay. I'm just going to take a little nip off. Just carry that line all the way up. There we go. Now, let's test fit this guy again. Almost there. Just needs that much more. Okay. Actually, I think it'll be easier to come at it from this side using X-Acto. Winged out, just run the blade like this. You don't need that much taken off, just a hair. Almost. couple more good passes should get it to fit. Okay. Almost. I'm using my thumb to help block the blade so I don't take too much off, and just to help keep control over it. Okay, one more test fit. That's almost there. So I've been working on that edge. So instead, I'm going to move over this side as well, just to help distribute where I'm cleaning up. Because like I said, just need about that much taken off. There we go. No. Okay. It's closer than we were, but still need a little more. And hopefully we'll be able to get this done, because I'd like to ideally get this up and painted tomorrow if we can. Okay. Blow some of the excess off. Fortunately, I admit my lighting around here is not the best, but okay, so I'm just gonna give a little more to help speed this along. Because I'll admit this is needs more than I thought it did. That sometimes, fortunately, does happen. Okay. Now, this doesn't fit. I will be shocked. Okay. Okay, that works. Now, I'm going to very carefully mark again, because I've got my finger here. And cut just slightly above it, that line, since I do want to keep a little bit buffer, helping the glued part in and for holding it while I do it. Let me grab that excess. So we need it for the other side. Okay. All right. So place that. That goes in nice and clean. Back side of that, there's some glue. Oh. Carefully get that back in. There we go. All right, so that's in. We'll let that set up for a minute. And by that setting, go ahead and clean up this part. I don't need that other part to set too long because we're going to be working on the other side. But you need it to set up at least a little so that if we accidentally knock it, it doesn't move off. And one thing I am going to do before we paint is mask up our tube so that it stays protected, and then after we get it all painted and everything, I'll slip it down a little and give it a good coat of brass polish. That way it will shine real nice. As for the base, actually going with a gloss polyurethane, which I've got 4 coats of it on now, and it looks amazing. I do need probably tomorrow, sometime late tomorrow, go at it with a bit of 2000 grit sandpaper to get some of the little imperfections out of it that were stuff that had, I guess, stuck on the wood initially. And yeah, once that's done, hit with a coat of polish, and it should look really nice. Now, let's go ahead and test fit this part on the other side. Okay. Now, this one's still a little wide, so go ahead and trim up this dirtier side. Yeah. Unfortunately, these clippers have seen better days, but I've been using them probably now close to ballpark and say 10 years. So they've definitely done their duty. Okay, I'm just gonna clean up this edge a little, as it's just that much too wide. Unfortunately, this is probably going to be a shorter stream, just because at this point we're waiting on stuff to dry, and there's not a whole lot we're going to be able to do, especially if we're able to get this stuff done. Okay, let's give this another go. Yep. Let me do this a little closer to me. Right. Just a hair too small. Okay, let's get this cleaned up. Yeah, once we get this in, it'll be ready to close up. So I'm going to wait a little bit just to let the glue set up some. That way, in case anything moves, you're not going to have to worry about it. You also still need to fill that one little hole thing. That's where the other part's supposed to act as a hinge. But that, unfortunately, it's got to be done off screen. Okay, that fits in there. So, all right. Yeah, that fits now. So, there. Just going to adjust it a little and run the blade over it. Okay, let's get this trimmed up and get this sucker in. Oops, got clippers. All thumbs today. Okay. That. Okay, we're just about done. Now, tweezers. try and get this in without too much of a headache. Okay. Guys down. Shift it again. Just put my finger there. Help support it. Okay. Here we go. Got them all in. All right, that looks a lot better than what the kit parts ended up looking like. Yeah, unfortunately, that was one downside. Yeah, see how much thicker and just how much thicker and so those should look really nice. Okay, so we got that done. Waiting on those to dry. Now, one thing this kit doesn't really come with is an paint key. Is it just sort of says light gray, dark gray, what have you. So for the main base color, I started with a 50-50 mix of 316 and 315 Mystic color, which we have here. Hopefully that's showing up. Let me try adjusting the light a little. So that's 50-50, and then I increase it to 2-to-1, 3-to-1, 4-to-1, and 5-to-1. Now the 5-to-1, to look at photos and such online and looking at the films, I think this is probably going to be the closest color we're going to get. 6-to-1 might be a slight shade closer, but I think this, at least to my eye, looks the closest. So what I think we'll do for our main body color once we prime it with a gray primer is go with this. So, and I went with the 316 white as opposed to just plain number 1 gloss white, was because gloss white's the number 1's more of a cool white, whereas 316 is a little warmer. Let me get those set down so they don't fall all over the place. So, as I said, this is probably going to be a shorter stream. So we got those all done, waiting on those to dry. Still need to reattach these. Fortunately, the repeated gluings have given us a very nice surface with which to use the super glue on. So yeah, unfortunately we're going to have to cut it a little short today, as between waiting for those to set up and dry, there's not a whole lot more we can do, at least at this stage, I think. Because yeah, obviously masking's not super difficult for the LEDs. I've got a circle template I use. I can mask those off with. As for the arcane, that's still just a matter of popping it out, which, you know what, actually I think we'll go ahead and do that now and just set it aside, because this, all we need to do is do it our body color, and that's basically it. My real issue is, doing it in such a way that we're able to fully get everything. And I did think about replacing these, but to look at the images online had been a little more complicated than I was prepared to do. Okay, try to get this on camera. So yeah, just trying to get the last little bits cleaned up off it. There we go. Some of this also, we still need to prime it and check to see, everything got filled, everything looks good, but that's unfortunately something we can't really do at this moment while everything's drying. So once everything's excuse me, everything's set up, I'll go ahead off camera and attach the uh, cockpit part, just so that gets done and get it glued, especially since I still have to fill that one little bit. And yeah, so once that's on, I'll check it, see if there's any really obvious gaps and fill those along with that hole, specifically the one right here. Yep. So once that's done, we'll be ready to do our first base coat. Trying to think, is there anything else we really can do until we're basically done? Because after this, the only other thing we really need to do on this kit is obviously reattach the laser cannons, and then do the last bit of wiring, but I can't do that till the base is ready and we're ready to attach. As the only other part that goes on is the connectors for the battery, which I will say this, boring out that hole for the battery was definitely a learning experience. Yeah, that's one of those things that once I do start doing tutorials again, one of which I think I will do a base making tutorial at some point, not too distant future. As that's a fairly easy one to do. Actually, since these have been sitting now for a little bit, let's go ahead and check them. Those are slightly off. I think I missed gluing on here. Go ahead and just do a little touching up in there. Fortunately, I don't have more than one of the clamps, so I can't really get both at the same time. Hence why I'll use tape as a pseudo substitute. Go ahead and get this guy, he's a little off. And just grab a little more tape. That should do it for the moment. Now, because I still need to probably trim some of the excess off those just to make sure there's no major fit issues. So, yeah, I think we'll close it up for now. There's not a whole lot more we can do. So yeah, probably be on again streaming towards after we get some of this done, as we'll probably have to do a little cleanup once we get the primer on, see any imperfections, which we'll do that. I'm hoping to do that on Thursday, so that we have Thursday to basically get painting done, get all that done, get a coat of gloss on, so that then on Friday morning we can get decals on and get our final coat on, seal it up, and get it attached to the base. Now, getting that attached to the base is going to be interesting just because of all the mechanics involved with soldering, as that's going to be challenging. I may actually, in fact, do that off camera just because there's enough going on that, yeah. So, like I said, we'll definitely probably be back on Thursday, possibly sooner. I've got a flight lesson tomorrow in the morning till about 1-ish, so I don't know if I'll be on build streaming then. But, yeah, hopefully we'll be on again next day or two. So, until next time.